everybody. Just wanted to give you a quick tour of the kitchen, so if you want to follow me this way. When you walk into the kitchen at first, this area right here and right over this way, it's kind of one of our heaviest traffic areas. You can see when we walk through here, people are trying to get to the dish area. We have food that's coming out from this direction, and kitchen staff trying to get back into the kitchen itself. So this area that we're standing in right here is probably the heaviest traffic area of the kitchen. Another area that's always very, very busy and tight for us is this area that we're standing in. So if you imagine it, like tonight we only have dinner service, but on any given night when we have dinner service and banquets going on, this whole area basically becomes a back of house area. Even though it looks like a front of house area where there's a soda fountain and iced tea, and this is a server station, but we actually use all this space in this table. We put a big hot box at the end of the line there, and we plate all of our banquets. We run all of our buffets right out of this area, so we end up taking it over because when I'll show you in a few minutes, the back line, there's just not enough room for all of that back there. We do have a small area in here that we call the bakery. It does not have any cooking ability in it. It's mainly a prep area. It's very poorly designed as far as the walls, and we have the soda system in here, and it has a lot more potential down the road. But we also have some oversized pieces of equipment that aren't as utilized as well. So this is another area we can fit, 2 to 3 people in here on a good day to be able to prep and get ready for service. Down this way, we have the line. So this is the hot line. During dinner service, we run a 4-person line. We have one on saute, one on middle, one on grill fry, and then all the way at the end down there is garde manger. So all the food, except for garde manger, but from these 3 stations here, funnels to the middle, where this table is right here. And we plate up everything in this space from here to here. And so when you have 80 to 100 people all eating at one time, and we're trying to funnel and plate the food in this small space, we can basically put down 5, 6 plates at one time to put all the food on it at one time and then send it out in an organized manner. So this is another spot that is extremely busy during the rushes, mainly that 6:30 time, and then lunch service too, between 1 and 2. For lunch, we run a 2 to 3 person line. So we have someone on garde manger, someone on grill fry, and then sometimes someone down here basically doing flatbreads, depending on how busy it is. But everything for both services runs to that middle station and then gets expoed out. You can see this saute station. We bought this cooler when I first started. It's not really ideally set up as a saute station where you're working really fast, doing pasta dishes, risottos, stir-fried vegetables. We basically have one cooler that's very deep, so imagine in any given night when you're having to get out, 100 to 200 different items throughout the evening, bending down and reaching over, and the inefficiencies that are present with something like this. They have totally different setups up nowadays where you even have coolers that are underneath the stoves, where you can just pull the drawer out, get your product, and cook it, and away it goes. And then our biggest other area that I always like to show everybody is back here. So right now we're getting ready for next week. We got frozen turkey legs that came in, but you can see just one product for one function of 200 people is basically taking up the whole entire space back here. Sam right now is trying to get them all pulled out, and they're basically going to fill up the whole entire walk-in for the next couple days until they thaw, and we can brine them and roast them and do everything that we need to do with them. So imagine when we're firing a banquet, we're back here prepping for line service, we're prepping for banquet service, and we're utilizing these ovens right here to fire all the food, prep all the food, and just get everything ready. So when you have something like this, and people are working right here, and you open the oven, and it's very hot, so now your space has basically been cut in half as far as the walkway goes, from 2 people being able to pass relatively tightly to only 1 person being able to get by. Or if 1 person's standing there, they got to get out of the way. So this is another heavy action area. One other thing I always like to point out to people when they're looking back here is, imagine when we have product coming into the building. Where does it go? Where do we receive it? Where do we check it in? Where do we ensure its quality and the safety of it? Basically, it's either here, you're looking at it, or it's in the walk-in. And when you've already brought that product into the walk-in, if something's contaminated, it's just not the right way to do it. So having a proper receiving area where we can check the goods in, count everything, check quality is something that we'd like to get down the road. But it becomes a very, very tight space. This back line right here, we can basically fit 4 to 5 bodies on when we're prepping. So if you have 1 or 2 people that are prepping a banquet and 1 or 2 people that are working the line or prepping for the line, that's about max space. So that's one of our biggest challenges. You know, during season we might have 15 to 20 people working in the kitchen, but where do we put them all? Where do they actually get their work done without working on top of each other? So we end up taking over space out front, especially for myself if I'm working or prepping, because a lot of times I'm doing something and then I'm walking away for a few minutes. So instead of taking a valuable space where someone's producing a tremendous amount of food, I might work out front, I might work somewhere else away from the crowdedness here because I'm popping in and out. So it's just, you know, these are the challenges that we want to address as we move into the renovation and being able to look to the future. I tell people all the time that as far as the kitchen goes, expansion-wise, we're pretty much maxed out as far as how many covers we can put out of here. Being able to deal with a la carte service and banquet service at the same time. I remember I hear stories from when I first started that they used to actually stop a la carte service to be able to plate a banquet or put a banquet out because of the limitations in here. We've been able to overcome that with menu design and different things like that, but it's still a challenge, and it's just a space and logistical challenge. And so being able to expand this space and be able to have more room to move and have more bodies in here will just be able to make everything a lot better for the membership, be able to allow us to focus on the food instead of having to focus on where does this cart go, we need to move this out to put this in, and all that type of stuff. I'll show you down this way. We have this is Garmin J. This is probably the best setup station in the whole entire kitchen as far as space and efficiency goes, but they have enough coolers, access to freezers, refrigeration, and that type of stuff. We can basically have 2 people prep on this station at one time, 1 person prepping the line, 1 person say prepping for salad bar. But ideally this is a well set up station. We have a small dry storage, so any of our dry goods are stored in here. You can see the red line on the wall, which you'll notice in the back storage room. We go back there too. Nothing's supposed to be stored above that per fire code. Is one of the biggest challenges that we deal with. So because of the lack of space and the limitations and the amount of products that we carry and the wide variety of products that we carry, so we spend a lot of man hours organizing, reorganizing. Dry storage, not as much, but you'll see when we go into the back storage room. I would say on average somebody spends somewhere between 4 to 5 hours a week just putting their hands on things in the back storage room and reorganizing it, making sure it's the way it should be, 1 for safety and 2 for operational use. So that's the main kitchen. When you come down this way, again, high traffic area here. This heads back towards the back storage room. We have all kind of ongoing paper and plastic storage here, stuff that's easily accessible for the staff. So to-go boxes, cups, different things like that we keep in here. And then our linen storage, which is, to me, is very, very limited. All the tablecloths, all the napkins, everything, kitchen towels, all that type of stuff is stored in this single closet. So we have to limit the amount of how much stuff we get in at one time. So instead of being able to receive product for, say, a week out, we might only be able to have stuff for 2 or 3 days. So if something happens, something pops up, we end up having to make an emergency call basically to get product here to be able to reset tables and those types of things. We do have one bathroom in the kitchen. This is always something that I think the membership is concerned about. Both male and female, single bathroom. So for a department between food and beverage, housekeeping, and the front office staff, we might have 50 or 60 people in high season utilizing one restroom, keeping and having their break room back here. I think this is a big opportunity at the renovation to be able to enhance the employees' experience while they work here. So again, we might have 20 or 30 people between the kitchen staff and the front of house staff on any given night working an 8-hour shift. Being able to take a break somewhere for 15-20 minutes and get something to eat is important to those people and to me to be able to provide it to them. So we do rotations back here. Some people don't utilize this space, but it's an opportunity for us when we do get to the renovation. Debbie's office is right here. She shares this with Joanne. We also use it as a storage area, mainly for any specialty items that we get. Like we're starting to collect everything for the welcome back party or the season kickoff party coming up. We utilize this space for those types of things along with her day-to-day business. And then the coup de grace in the back, our big storage room. So if you can imagine everything and anything that we need for operating Schaefer's, table skirts, tables, paper and plasticware, anything that food goes on, plates, platters, that type of stuff is stored back here. Uniforms, liquor and wine, housekeeping has a space back here that they utilize for their equipment. And so it's just, we have it broken up into 3 rows. You can see how low the ceiling is, and you can see where that red line is on the wall. It's basically at my head height. So every time we have anybody coming through, we have to come back here and reshuffle things because stuff is just stored too high for this space. But there's just no other way for us to do it. Right now, we don't, like this big hot box will move up into the front kitchen area when we get into season, when we're using it every day. So that opens up a little bit of space here, but it creates a bigger problem up front. Speed carts, we have half of these carts right here that we put prep food on. Half of them right now are actually up at our storage unit up at Golf Course Maintenance. So those will come down in the next week or two, and this space will be even more full. So ideally, being able to raise this roof and change how we operate back here. Like I said, we spend a lot of time just reorganizing things, getting people to put things in the right places. When product is received, having to move things to put stuff away. It's very, very inefficient the way that this room is designed and laid out, and it can definitely be improved. Besides that, I think those are the main things that I always like to show people when they come into the kitchen. And like I guess the other big parts that I always like to talk about too is the infrastructure. I can walk back up to the kitchen and I can kind of show you floor drains, for instance. We have 3 floor drains throughout the whole entire kitchen. So on any night, most nights, we scrub and mop the floor. So we put a lot of water down to get rid of the grease and the dirt, keep it safe, to make sure that people are walking through. It's not a slippy surface. So we have 2 main floor drains that we utilize. One is here, and the other one there's a small one on the line. So we have to get all the water from the kitchen either to those 2 drains, or we push it out the back door. Either way, not super efficient. Other one is electrical. So we're maxed out as far as main equipment goes electrical wise. I couldn't add another oven if I wanted to. We couldn't add anything else that requires power if we wanted to without reconfiguring the breakers. Every morning when we come in, there's 5 to 6 pieces of equipment where the breakers have tripped overnight. Also happens during the day, so we have to reset all those. And then the other big one is actual physical electrical outlets. So we use blenders, hand blenders, robo-cubes, all different types of electrical equipment that we use for processing and preparing food. We have one on the back line and we have one on the front line. So we basically have to share with each other and we communicate with each other. All right, I'm using the blender now. All right, I got the RoboCoop next, whatever it might be. Those are some big challenges that when we do the renovation and when the ML project moves forward, we'll definitely be able to address those, because again, it's just efficiencies. It's ease of use. It's making it so our employees can focus on their job and not have to focus on the problems, and dealing with the logistical problems and the challenges and those types of things. So anybody, anytime you want to come into the kitchen on a busy night, on a slow night, you are more than welcome. We work very, very hard to keep it clean and maintain it as well as we possibly can for the membership. So there is never a time that I will turn a member away and say, please come back another time. We are always very proud to have anybody walk into the kitchen at any time. So you are more than welcome to come up and see it for yourself, but hopefully this video kind of opens your eyes to some of the things that we deal with back here, some of the challenges that we have, and why you know, this project moving forward is super important to us, and why it will make such a big impact to the members' experience when they come into the restaurant if we can address some of these different things down the road. So thank you for your time and have a great afternoon. Right here behind you.
Alright, we got mild chaos right now. Not much. These guys are going. It is now 6:30 and the first orders of dinner are coming in and being filled in that very small area. And that's one order out. More coming in right now. All right, 550, 553.